3, 4, 5, we are live. Hello everyone, Max Gower here with my amazing co-host Candace LaQuad Johnston here in the Church Street Media House studios for another episode of Rubber Chicken Circuit. And we're here with Mike Corrigan, local Pembroke City Councillor candidate, and we're so grateful to have you here.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you so much.
Candace.
Right on.
Thanks for having me.
Candace, give me your first question, please.
Yeah, so I was getting to know a little about you there in the background before we started this interview, but I'd like you to explain to our viewers who you are and where you're from and your background, as much as you like.
Sure. Mike Corrigan, born and raised in Pembroke. Raised my 3 children here in Pembroke. I've got a daughter that's 22, Bailey, who graduated from being a blood tech a year ago.
Cool.
Took a job at the regional hospital, and then she decided she wanted to be a nurse, so she's returned to school.
Oh wow, good for her.
Yeah, I got a 19-year-old son, Riley, who's building houses in Eganville. He's trying to figure out what trade he wants to go down yet, so he's got to look at everything.
Still young, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it nowadays.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. There's such a trade shortage across the province right now. And I got a 16-year-old daughter, Carly, who is just getting over knee surgery. She's a volleyball player, so she had a really bad injury, so she's just getting over that. Those are my 3 kids. I've been at Atomic Energy, or CNL, now as a called for 23 years.
Good for you.
I started there as an electrician, so I'm an electrician by trade.
Nice.
I ended up getting a herniated disc, so I had to have some surgery on my back, and that kind of moved me into the management role. I kind of took care of the apprenticeship program. I did the hiring for the maintenance organization up there. I got into being the senior manager of reactor services up there,
Oh, good for
and
you.
the director of site maintenance for about 7 years, which was a real eye-opener. You're involved in a lot of contract negotiations, construction, stuff like that, and
complete project management.
complete. And that's what I'm into now. I'm the manager of projects in in waste operations.
Wow.
So we're building lots of new stuff. It's really exciting times up there. We've got a GoCo model in place, so things are really changing up there. Really exciting.
No, that's good.
It is.
It's good to know that you have lots of experience managing projects, which is kind of like event managing, which is a lot relatable to managing tasks in city council. So
Yeah, definitely.
very much related. And so, what would you say is one of your favorite things about the city of Pembroke? Since you clearly have a large family or a good, healthy family, what's some of your favorite aspects about our city?
So deep roots in Pembroke. My father had a gas station up by the PMC.
Oh.
He ran that in the early 60s, not that I was around then. My grandfather had a barber shop, Main Street, Pembroke, down by Ulrich's.
Oh, cool.
I remember that picture that Jelly Massey put on.
Yeah.
I can remember some of that. I remember downtown being so vibrant and just full of life.
It looks so vibrant that.
Oh, and especially around Christmas time. I mean, the city of Pembroke, growing up in the city of Pembroke, we had our rec parks, we had our ball diamonds. It was just an amazing place to grow up, an amazing place to raise my kids in.
What do you think happened between then and now? Because it seems like such a contrast compared to.
What I think happened is that we kind of lost focus of downtown Pembroke. Because we've got the bigger malls on the outside.
That's very true.
It kind of took a lot of what was downtown, and people didn't have a reason to come downtown anymore.
Yes.
Not just a small business downtown, but small business across Pembroke in general. I think they lost a lot with us expanding out and kind of not focusing on what was important to us downtown.
Yeah.
I think we really lost aspect of that over a decade or so.
And the first mall went in the 70s, I believe.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah.
And is that when things started to kind of?
Well, downtown we used to have a Canadian Tire, but then there was a fire and the Canadian Tire burnt, and then they built a Canadian Tire out towards. I don't think we really wanted the big box stores downtown. I think they still wanted it to be kind of where we're getting back to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But all the bigger ones, all the ones, the Kmart's way back then, the Met, all the ones that everybody would hear about that were in the other cities, well, they were starting to establish themselves around the area. So then people would say, well, I don't want to go to Met. So they'll head to the Met, and kind of downtown would kind of dwindle away,
That's sad.
That's my opinion. So yeah.
So I think now with the way, because we have an East End and a West End mall, the West End being a larger one, and I think with our city with the hopes of our city just growing, obviously, I think we just have to fight that harder and try to grow our community culture and our downtown culture even more. And I think it falls around like strong promotions. Like we need it promoted better.
Correct.
And
You
I
know,
think the college would really help with that.
so I don't think we quite know what our identity is yet.
Yeah,
speak
that's
on
a
that.
very good point.
We have, in my opinion, we have 3 great avenues. We've got the college.
Yeah.
You know, we're a college city. We've also got, right now, we've got tourism. You know, and if you go on the Pembroke website, one of the top 10 reasons to do business in Pembroke is because we're a great tourism area.
Yeah.
Is it being promoted as that? I don't know.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, and number 3, like, are we a retirement community? We could be.
Yes.
You know, because we have everything.
Definitely.
It's a great area. Right now, there's lots of people who are retiring from CNL. They want to stay in the area, but there's not a lot for them to do right now. You know.
Yeah.
With the college, when we talk about economic development, a good way to attract new business is for the college to partner up with who's ever coming here and saying, you know what, we'll train the workforce you're going to need here. I mean, they're doing that for CNL right now with the RP resources. There's graduates coming out of the college and they're going to work on the CNL. Any type of big business or medium-sized business that can come here, you're partnered with the college.
It's like the nursing program, and then they partner with the hospital. And I know, like, there's a big group of students that come in to the hospital, because I currently work at the hospital, and you see a big group of them, and then eventually they get a job there because there's so many job openings for a nurse around here. But it's nice that Pembroke has those supporting work facilities.
Yep, and it's kind of real hard, like we have all these little, like, it's a beautiful spot to be. Like the tourism here, we can do so much more with what we have.
Definitely.
And we just need to figure out what's the package, what do we want to look like, how do we want to present ourselves to everybody else, to actually draw people to visit and people to live here.
It's a great,
that's
a great subject line, great statement. We can talk about that for a long time. I really believe that speaking on all 3 is important, because I think that, like, the tourism idea to me seems like a big money maker to draw in money into our community, but without it being a college town, you can't really, well, high school students and college students support tourism by working in those trades in their part-time and student jobs. And then obviously the elderly are important, because if our city can't be sustainable or comfortable or vibrant enough for the elderly to enjoy, then it's certainly not a good tourism destination. So I think that just having more mobility and also cleaning up some of the culture downtown, where we've been talking about little safety issues where some people feel unsafe by some of the gatherings.
You know, I've been going door to door, and the grind, great project, great program, great service, but a lot of people are not comfortable with it being downtown.
Yes, that's,
you know,
it's worth discussing for sure.
Calling a spade a spade. Just not, and they believe in it. They believe we have to have it. They just don't think it should be downtown.
So nobody has a hate on for the grind. In fact, everyone agrees with their mandate and their mission. However, if it needs to be always ever re-explored, because if we're enabling or housing an environment where more activity that is lowering the value and lowering the accessibility in some cases of our shopping district downtown, or so
you really need to listen to what people have to say.
Yep, you really do.
Like, you know, I guess a majority rules kind of thing when it comes to situations like that.
Yeah,
it's about,
some of the talk has been
can't make
about,
everybody happy.
It's mainly around, if anyone is tuning in, they don't know the issues around the grind that are socially around the culture there. It's a homeless shelter that doubles as a coffee shop, and they offer worship services and spiritual guidance and other services. And the grind administration office is a great resource for anyone that needs to get hooked up to social resources or housing resources. And then we're just talking really about the loitering downtown that is kind of concentrating on one city block downtown. And some folks have talked about having a smoke pit out back so people can have a picnic table and a place to smoke cigarettes that may detract from that. And that's been discussed and hasn't really been able to happen because of the lack of room in the parking lots behind the businesses. But just conversation needs to continue in city council, I guess.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think it really does.
Right on.
You get a lot of, well, as the candidates know, you get a lot of information going door to door.
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
You get a lot more youth then probably sometimes you ask for it. And it's interesting.
You probably get a lot more use out of going door to door than you do off of Facebook comments. Even though we're getting some positive ones coming in today on these.
Do you find when you speak to people, when you go to their door, do you find that a lot of the issues are very comparable to, is there a bit of a pattern happening here?
Yeah, at times, you'll always hear what was really interesting when you guys had Ryan here, and Ryan brings up Tony Garetto's election thing, and he's going through things that we're still talking about today.
Yes.
So those are some of the same things that are coming forward, and I don't think it's because none of the councils have figured out how to fix it. It's that it's just an ongoing issue in the cities. It's just, we're never going to wake up one morning after 4 years of a great council and every road's going to be fixed. We're going to have all the facilities in place. It's just not going to happen.
And I mean, things pop up all the time, so
Exactly.
I'm sure that a lot of common issues need to go to the kind of the back burner because there's more important things that come forward.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, our infrastructure, our roads. That's always been a talked about thing,
And with 20 candidates, and I feel sorry for the taxpayers or the voters who are there, because all our platforms are probably running together right now.
Yeah.
But we got 20 candidates who I believe are 20 good candidates that all know what the important things are. So when we're kind of all talking to the same things all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and everything's starting to sound the same. So they're probably saying, well, that's what so and so said. Well, that's what this guy believes is important. And a lot of us believe that some of our infrastructure, economic development, for me, seniors programs, all this stuff is important to get us to where we need to be.
That's what's so important about these interviews, because the ones who choose to come on and put themselves out there, and knowing that it's live, it really shows your transparency.
Yeah. Trust me, this is live. So
We're live we're live in the exclusive elections group with the special promotions and exclusive content. We're also live on Candace's Facebook page, and we'll be sharing this on YouTube later. But yes, we're really grateful that you're on your mic so that we can share who you are. We want people to get to know who you are
and how you stand out from the other candidates, what you have unique to bring to the table as a councillor too. These interviews are great because it really shows who you are as a person, and that matters the most. To me, that matters the most.
It really does.
Because it says a lot about how you're going to handle situations, and with that, how do you think you're going to be able to balance your life as being a councillor and your life currently?
I don't think it's going to be a big jump for me. I coached hockey when I was working. I sat on the board of directors at the hospital while I was working. I sit on the ORES board of directors. My work hours, they've kind of cut back now because I'm no longer director, but I was kind of used to long hours. I'm married for the second time. My wife is actually has her own project management company.
Oh, wow.
It's called Milestone Scheduling and Consulting.
Cool.
She really pulls her weight.
What's her business called?
Milestone Scheduling and Consulting.
Oh, okay, you can feel free to.
Oh no,
promote,
she's busy enough right now. So she's
basically
I'm trying to retire and she's taking off. So.
Well, that's good.
It's good advice to have in your corner from her, and it's a great support system.
It really is. It really is, because we're both into the project management. So there's a lot of banter going on at home about things we can do. We've talked about strategic plans for the city, integrated plan, bringing all the priorities together, make sure funding's, everything needs to be done through a plan. And unfortunately, when council gets elected, their first year is really trying to steer through and trying to get their hands on what's going on.
Yeah.
And then they start to develop plans. But, as I went through the city website, every department has a priority of what they want to do. They've done some great research with the continuous business improvement plan. They developed a strategic plan for capital funding, but it didn't start until 2016, and it went to 2018. But you need to bring all these priorities together, so not everybody's reaching for the pot. You bring them all together and you say, okay, this is what's important this year. And when you sit around the council meetings, when you have extra funding, you know where it's going to go. It goes right to where the next priority is. And I think there's that level of understanding. I haven't seen it yet at the council, and there's something else that There's $17 million in reserves right now at City Council.
Oh.
So when this council started, there was 14 million, and now they put 3 more million into reserves. So that's a big chunk of money. That's half their operational budget. Why it's there? There might be a reason, but why it's there, I don't quite understand, because there's a lot more work that needs to be done. You know, and it's just a matter of finding a way to get at that, and there probably is an easy way to get at that, and actually use it instead of, when people talk about taxes, of course everybody wants their taxes lowered, and at this point, where we are with infrastructure and facilities, I don't think now's the time to decrease taxes, but also I don't think it's time to raise taxes.
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep it at a certain level until the work is done, and there's lots of work to be done for what the residents of the city of Pembroke want done.
Oh, definitely.
We need a new facility, we need our infrastructure to be, and all this stuff, in my opinion, has to be done before we start asking people to come here and do business.
I think so too, because big, like a recreational center, like the Kinsman Pool, or even, I saw a comment yesterday where they were like, well, forget about building a new facility, let's just basically bandage what we've got right now. But the thing is well, we've been doing that the whole time, bandaging.
We've been doing that for 8 years.
Yeah, so I think personally that, and I'm sure you'd agree, that you need to invest the money in these large recreational centers to attract people. And Corey Nagora had an idea of even potential partnering up with the military to get like a PMC or not a PMC, like a Dundonald Hall.
That would be neat.
Because I know that we do have a lot of soldiers that live here in this town too, you know. But anyway, whatever, whether it's the military or other partnering, even other municipalities, you know.
Yeah, I understand that's been difficult over the years, but yeah, you need to start opening up the lines of communication and start working with the people around you.
Yeah, because they say that we're very landlocked.
Yeah. Oh well, we are. So we are landlocked. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
What are some of your favorite things to do downtown? I mean, it is being raised up in beautification and standards.
Hey, what council's done this past 4 years with downtown Pembroke, hats off.
Yes.
Unbelievable what they've done. There's a lot more to be done, but they've done a great job in revitalizing downtown.
Definitely.
And I'm a huge fan of downtown. Walk my dogs downtown. Farmers markets,
nice.
Go have breakfast at the Bonanza on Sundays, stuff like that.
And all the little small details too, like the flowers and the banners and welcoming fiddlers.
I love walking downtown. Also, there's a store. Like when you said Giggles and Goats, there's that.
Yes, Giggles and Goats.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unbelievable. That's great.
It's
you
a
definitely have to check
spot,
it out.
And so much history in there.
Yes, already so much history, and they're raising that up, and they show it off on the walls.
Yeah.
So,
a couple bakeries downtown now, and
bakery. There's
the
a
boxing club.
New boxing club this summer, and then there's the brand new wedding store for dresses, crazy beautiful dresses, crazy beautiful decor.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is like the Ottawa Valley is big on weddings, and I know that whatever we can do, the downtown core to me is becoming more and more classy and
yes, it is
fashionable,
especially with the storefronts.
So let's keep it.
With Sleepwell being so much invested and council working well with them, I mean they've done a great job.
Yes.
Like and that has to continue. That really has to continue.
The events that I like, they had that hockey event in the winter months. That was great because people start to get very what do they call that when you're in the house for so long?
Isolated.
Yeah. Like cabin fever. People get cabin fever, and so they were promoting events kind of around this whole cabin fever idea. And
you know, there's real simple things that, for some reason, it's kind of so. When I played hockey in Pembroke as a child, we would have we played rep hockey. We had all our games at PMC, which meant on Sunday, like our Empire would come down with 6 different teams, and they'd play hockey at the PMC. So they played hockey from noon till 6 o'clock. You'd have your Pee-wee, Bantam. All that hockey's being played now on Sundays out of Pembroke too, so people who come don't have the chance to come downtown.
yeah.
And Sunday nights is when the Lumber Kings are playing also. So, you know, if we had those games being played at the PMC on a Sunday afternoon, people are walking around downtown.
Really
people might stick around for a Lumber King game. You know, it's real simple little stuff like that. And I know there's a reason why they're playing it out there. I haven't figured out what it is yet. But that's just one little thing. I mean, look how much money the Silver Stick generates for the city over a 6-week period.
Yeah,
That's 6 weeks.
really good thinking outside the
it's,
box.
it's just real simple stuff like that.
Yeah, and it would, because Pembroke is considered hockey town.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them have talked about how it's kind of dwindling now, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons too. But if they brought everything back to the PMC, made it more centrally located.
I mean, it's the most historic rink
Great.
probably around, like in a long area. We should have the kids be playing their rep hockey there or their racing hockey there. You get the parents there, then you get the out-of-towners there, and they're walking around downtown.
Yes.
You always got to be there an hour and a half before the game, so you've got stuff to do.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
That's great for business, actually. That's a great idea.
Are you on live there? Is there
I'm
any
on live.
questions,
We had a question pop up that disappeared, and the downtown has never looked better. Donna Savalsky, a viewer, and some other positive comments. So I wanted to ask you, while I have the floor, I wanted to ask you about transit. Have you looked into transit at all, or have you spoken about transit?
I have spoken about transit. I spoke transit as part of my platform to getting seniors involved.
Yes, yes, I agree.
I find that there was transit years ago. Now with the college here and with the seniors, like a lot of the conversation I get back from them is that the winter time I don't like leaving the house because I don't like driving. And that way they don't get to where they want to go. They don't get downtown.
Yeah.
They don't get to go do what they want to do, and they're just locked up in the house for the winter time. And that's one of I shared transport between Laurentian Valley, us, to get our seniors to where they need to be, to get them to programs that we hopefully bring to the city, to get them out of the house, so that because seniors have so much to offer. You know, their experience from their retirement, whatever job they were at, just speaking with them. I think it's one little aspect that we're missing here. That's kind of important to our city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I think,
I left the window open.
I think that
Wait till you're on camera
we're
before you start
candid.
talking.
No, but I think that another good idea too, to combine the seniors and the transport in the downtown, is have the bus on a certain route that drops them off downtown, and then say it picks them up in an hour or.
100%,
You have to be able to plan your outings as a senior, especially.
Find out where they want to go to, plan different routes, and
and more business could be built around that route.
Yeah.
And keeping more business downtown and more mobility.
I've been to the Pinewood Retirement Home and the Riverview one. I dropped off some of my pamphlets, and they've asked me to come back and do a tabletop discussion.
Cool.
Because they have ideas. They want to hear, what am I planning to do? Like, what's your big platform? So that's pretty interesting. I got one on Monday, so.
On Monday,
it'd probably be more me listening than me telling, because.
What time on Monday are you going there?
I'm going there at 6 o'clock.
Cool.
Yeah.
I might crash a party.
You sure can.
Yeah.
You sure can.
Cool, that's interesting.
But seniors make up a majority of the population in Pembroke, and there's a lot of baby boomers, people that are trying to retire, and it's nice to see what each candidate is willing to promote to keep the people here. Because that seems to be the biggest thing right now, is that people are going, there's no opportunity here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they go somewhere else,
They do. Yeah.
So it's nice to hear what you guys have to bring to the table to keep them here,
As part of your economic development plan, I think the biggest thing is how do we increase our tax base? And we talk about it through use the college, use the seniors as a retirement community, and tourism. You increase the tax base, and then at some point we get to a point where, all right, taxes might start to lower, or they're not going to go up. Because right now the revenue generated by the city, 68% of it is from taxes.
Yes.
So we need to kind of change that funding formula, get it down. And by doing that, that's by getting more people to come here. And I think it starts with a stronger infrastructure to support what we want to build, and a facility.
Oh, I agree 100%.
That everybody can use. So people are going to come here and wait for us to do something, because either we're in the process of doing it or it's already done. That goes with business, with anything.
Yes. Definitely. Well, and we had mentioned about the college. The college is such a big thing. So all these students are going to come, and they're going to go, what's there to do in this town? And it'd be nice to incorporate the transport system to pick up the students and have all these different routes so that the students can all meet at a spot and get to know the downtown core, get to know even the malls and things like that on the east side, on the west side, and I had mentioned in a previous interview about this really cool idea about how they're combining the seniors with the students. The students are actually living with the seniors, and the seniors require a little bit of...
Like in a residence or whatever?
No, just in their houses, because they're
Well, I
trying
think
to
sometimes
encourage...
that goes on as well.
Yeah, I think so.
In Europe somewhere, there's that idea, even in residences.
Yeah, and there's a program that opened up in Ottawa that really encourages it, because and the seniors come forward and they say, I could really use, because I'm getting older and my say my husband's not around anymore and I don't want to go into an old age home, but I don't want to leave my home. And of course the city is trying to encourage seniors to stay in their house as long as they can, because there's no spots for them to go. It's sad. So having the senior, or having the students, the students need residence, while they're here taking their program, and the seniors need help, and if they can kind of coincide.
No kidding.
I think we also need more students, not necessarily making it a volunteer thing, but we need more. We need more of the younger generation learning from the older generation, and the older generation experiencing the benefits of having that energy around them. And so there's lots of programs. I know right now the only involvement that I see in the old folks home is from churches sending out their youth to go out and minister on Sundays, which is great. There's singing and there's worship, but I think that there could be more done with that. Perhaps with our media and arts programs at Church Street, we could find a way to tie in youth with the seniors. But all this kind of relates to, if we want to have a rich, vibrant community, a tourism community, we have to raise up the seniors and raise up the youth, so that because they are the future and they need to have those values. Some would call them old school values, hard work ethic.
What a great transfer of knowledge. What better way of getting it.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to keep those students once they've finished their program. It would be nice for them to say, I love Pembroke.
As a teenager growing up, I couldn't wait to get out of Pembroke.
Yeah, same here.
But when I left, I couldn't wait to get back.
Yeah,
it happens. No matter what, I took a pay cut, everything to get back to Pembroke.
Yeah.
It was just, I was gone for 10 years.
And
I couldn't wait to get out, but then I couldn't wait to get back.
That's such a common story. I hear that a lot, actually, and I'm one of them too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's good. No, I left Pembroke running about a year ago, and then I came back this spring running back here. I felt like I was called back here, and you think you don't need it, you think you don't want it, but Pembroke is a special place.
It is.
It's a special community here.
Yeah. Maybe all three of us have been called back because we all have really great ideas to make this place better.
Very clear by this discussion, we all have great ideas, that's for sure.
This is why we're sitting here.
Yeah.
We want a better Pembroke, and
this is the idea table right now. It's good. No, it's really great.
We're going to bring this to council.
Yeah. We're practicing, okay?
If I get elected, I'm bringing the table.
Yeah.
Elect the three of us.
Well, definitely. Elected or not, we'd love to have you in here. I feel you getting elected in because your visions and your ideas are right for Pembroke, and you have experience, and you have a strong rooted family base here and support system. Those are all key components.
Yeah. Definitely.
You sound like you bring a lot to the table for it.
I'm really. This is my first. I'm so excited. I enjoy being out there talking to people. As a matter of fact, last night, a friend of mine calls me and says, "My neighbor just approached me because my sign's on your lawn." He says, "What does your fella bring to the table?"
There you go.
Yeah.
What's his address?
Yeah.
Nice.
Knocked on the door. He was in the middle of having dinner. I said, "Mike Corrigan, this is my pamphlet."
Awesome.
He says, "Well, I'm eating right now." I said, "Well, I want to tell you what I bring to the table."
Yeah.
He says, "I'll give you a call later." I said, "Okay, here's my card."
That's
He hasn't called yet, so I might have.
No. I don't think you can come on too strong as a city councillor when you're running. You need to get out there, and you're very approachable, and
definitely.
And definitely, I can see the strength, the strong, the passion. You said you're very excited. I can see the excitement, and so that's what we need in council.
Yes, definitely.
We don't want a dead zone. We want energy.
Yeah,
so I can
lots
see
of
the energy.
personality and
Well,
somebody.
another question. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
When we were talking about your family, you said that you had a strong support system. Your wife is experienced and organized. What about your kids? Are they supportive, or they just want nothing to do with it?
I'm gonna say that my daughter right now is watching, Bailey.
Hey, Bailey,
right?
Cool.
Yeah, they're very supportive. Me and my son we went around, delivered big signs.
That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, they've been unbelievably supportive.
That's great.
That's amazing.
They're never surprised about what I'm going to do. But I told them 4 years ago, Dad's running for council.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure if it's going to be
Did
mayor.
you run? Did you run 4 years?
I didn't.
No,
You
he knew 4 years ago that he was going to run.
I did run 4 years ago because we were in a transition phase up at CNL where a new company was coming in. I wasn't quite sure where I was going to end up and what my workload was going to be like.
Yeah.
So I thought, no. So I decided I'm going to apply to a committee. So I was, the council picked me to go on to the ORES committee. Thank you. It was great. And now things have kind of fallen into place where, hey, I'm gonna
Leads you right into
Well,
this
that's
I'm gonna
direction.
give it a shot.
That's another story where it's a good thing that you waited the 4 years because you're more prepared
Yes.
now. And I know from experience when you jump the gun, it's a little bit embarrassing sometimes. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad and I'm proud that you're here running and with the vision that you have. I will say this is the first interview where it's been explained so fluently. We have 3 main strengths here that we need to raise up, and you said tourism, the elderly, tourism, retirement community, and a home. And obviously the college, Algonquin College Waterfront Campus is a huge one for us.
And I think you're right too about Pembroke trying to discover its true identity, because it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and not everybody agrees on what the true identity of Pembroke is right now, because it's a little bit foggy, but that's important.
It is. It really is.
That's very important.
It grows your community.
Yeah.
If everybody's pulling from the same rope, this is what we are. This is what we do. This is our vision. This is our mission. This is what Pembroke is.
And it's a step one.
Yeah. It is a step one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I think that for anyone watching on the Church Street Media House Facebook page, after this interview, Candace and I are going to continue our own little discussion about the identity of our city, because that's a great topic.
That is a really good topic.
Thanks for bringing that to us.
Nobody else has brought that up
Yeah,
yet.
that
It's
was
true,
tough.
and you need to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't start with a big mess of all sorts of little things. You got to try and put it together, and
You have to focus on what you want to do.
yeah,
Because if you got so many irons in the fire, nothing gets done.
yeah.
You're fighting fire steady. You're
Yeah,
fighting
you're
fire
right.
steady instead of focusing. Okay, this is a 3-year integrated plan, and this is where we want to end up at year 3. And everybody's pulling in. You're gonna get there.
And you're so
You're gonna
good
get there.
at thinking outside the box. Like, you've brought a lot of really good ideas to the table in regards to bringing people to the downtown core, making the city hockey town again. Like, you've had some wonderful ideas, ones that I haven't thought of, and it's creative. It shows your creativity, and
Thank you.
yeah, it's good. It's a lot of good characteristics there.
That concludes our interview, folks. If
right.
that's okay with you guys,
That's fine.
Is there anything you'd
I
like
think
to
it's
add
high
before
time.
we...
There's really nothing. I appreciate this opportunity. I
And you
really
feel like
do.
you've touched base on everything? And
I've had a very relaxing interview.
Oh,
Thank you very
good.
much.
It has been relaxing. It's been a great intellectual discussion, everyone. Mike Corrigan, running for City Council, Pembroke, Ontario. Very approachable, determined, creative, yet almost militarized in his mission-oriented focus here on giving Pembroke an identity. So you can follow him on his Facebook page, and we'll put links here, and you can find out more through social media and through his website. We'll post links, or we'll post his email, whatever he gives us as the main point of contact. But I know he's very approachable, and he's willing to come to your door and give you a pamphlet and talk to you about what you want to know.
invite him for dinner. And...
Sure. Yeah. My Facebook page is Vote Mike Corrigan.
Perfect. Vote Mike Corrigan. Well, this has been Pembroke Rubber Chicken, and everyone,
Stay positive.
stay positive and God bless. I'm going to shut off the live feed now. Woo! Thank you,
Yeah,
Mike.
it's been
Thank you.
great.
That was excellent.
Thank
That was
you.
excellent, man.
Thank you.